All right, so let me just start before I even get to this story. Trigger warning, all right? There are a few things that happen in the story time. DV, all right, trigger warning. It's not like crazy, but it's still trigger warning, all right? Hey Cali gang, what it do? So we're gonna get into a story time. All right, I haven't done a story time in a really long time. Yeah, it's definitely been a minute. But yeah, so you can tell from the title and the thumbnail. All right, so let's get into the story. Okay, so a little backstory on this situation. I was with this guy. Altogether, I think the relationship lasted a few years, like no longer than like 3 or 4 years, and I'm rounding up. Like, I know the relationship didn't last that long. It was a lot going on with the relationship. All right, it didn't start out as crazy as it ended. It didn't. Everything kind of just started going downhill, and I can't even remember if it's something I did or it's something that he did, because we were both not our best selves in the relationship. All right, I'll just say that right there, okay? And I still can't believe this came out of this person's mouth. So we were in an argument, and I can't even remember what we were arguing about. If it was just life stuff we were dealing with or stuff within the relationship, but we were in an argument, and he had, okay, so hold on. All right, sorry, I had to do the trigger warning thing. But yeah, so I can't even remember like how the argument started or like what happened. But from what I can remember with the situation, how it got to where it got and the things that were said, we were either going through it or like we were like down on money or something. And I don't remember, we had went to my guy's dad at the time for help or something, or I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was tension. All right, there was tension there, and next thing I know, he's coming at me like I'm trying to remember like everything that happened leading up to it. I can't remember if like we went with the family somewhere and then it transpired there and then we came home and then there was like the fight, or nothing happened with the family, but we just left the family. We got home and then we're fighting. I really can't remember. I can't remember. But we were at the house going back and forth about something. He was huffing and puffing and walking around and just upset. And I can't remember exactly why or what, but he was like, he grabbed me by the shoulders, right? And was like shaking me. I can't even like show you what I mean because my husband is busy right now, but he grabbed me by the shoulders and he was like shaking me like this basically, right? And yeah, like, okay, so here's my head, he has my shoulders like this, right? He's like shaking me, right? And I'm like, in my head I'm like, what the fuck, you know? But yeah, he's like, tell me the truth. Are you smashing my dad? This and that. Are you guys messing around? Are you talking this and that? Tell me the truth. And he's saying all this while he's like shaking me and grabbing my arms like really, really hard to the point where like I had bruises from his fingerprints. And I was like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? And I just start like kind of hyperventilating and crying because I'm like, is this man really asking me this? Like, our dads are the same age. They're the same sign. Like, that don't even make sense. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? He's like, I know you're messing with my dad, or something's going on because he's never been this nice to me. He's never helped me this much. He, even when with ex-girlfriends and my baby mama, like, he was never this nice to me. He would never help me this much. He would never do this. He would never do that. But why with you, all of a sudden things change? He wants to try to help me or help us or help you. And like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck? Why? There's something you're not telling me. There's something you're not telling me. And I'm like, no, there's nothing going on. There's nothing that I'm not telling you. Like, it was just really awkward because backstory with that, put a pause on the story, on the argument. So a backstory with him and his family, like, he wasn't, I don't really know the full story. I'm gonna just go off of what I was told and how things played out, okay? So he was basically, from what the story he told me, he was basically like the black sheep of the family. Nobody really messed with him. Nobody helped him, this and that, blah, 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 sob story, right? He's like, I've always struggled. No one's ever wanted to help me, but they always help my other siblings and my sister, this and that, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, oh, okay. And in my head, like, not realizing and not thinking, like, why do they treat you like that? Were you a fucked up kid? Were you rebellious? Were you this? Were you that? Were you out running the streets? Were you out, you know, trying to gangbang? Were you out trying to fight? Were you know what I mean? Like, doing the teenage things that all teenagers do. And he didn't tell me he was doing all of that and then some. And basically, he, you know, told me the sob story. Like, my parents, you know, they treat me like this or that. My siblings are like the golden children, this and that. I'm like, oh, okay. And one day, me and his dad sat down at the table, and I can't remember if we were all eating and then everyone left or what, but like me and my dude's dad at the time sat down at the table, and we were just, you know, having grown-up talk, all right? Grown-up discussion, all right? Grown-up conversation, okay? And he was just, you know, trying to pick my brain a little bit about me and then about mine and his son's relationship and stuff. And I told him, you know, I, you know, gave him, you know, some information and, you know, everything like that. And then it got around to, I can't even remember how I got into this part of the conversation, but I was like, I don't want to overstep my bounds, but do you mind if we kind of talk about something that, like, is kind of personal? He was like, yeah, of course. Like, what's up? You know, you can always come and talk to me about whatever. I was like, I don't want to overstep, okay? I know I'm new to the family, to the situation, to, you know, everything in general, but, you know, our boy, I'm going to call him, I don't even know what to call him, you guys. I need to come up with a good nickname. Let's call him, oh my gosh, you guys, this is really sucks. I'm trying to think of a good, like, a nickname for this story. Bar. We'll call him Bar, okay? I was like, well, you know, Bar, you know, thinks that, like, the family basically hates him. Like, he's like the black sheep that nobody really cares, that nobody gives a fuck. Like, excuse my French. You know, nobody really cares. They don't show him love and affection like y'all do with, like, the other siblings. And, you know, and he wasn't the only sibling. He was the oldest of, wait, was he the oldest? I think he was the oldest. That's so sad. I can't remember if he was the oldest. But anyway, it was him, it was him, 2 brothers, and then a sister. So there was 4 siblings altogether, right? I told him, I was like, yeah, he doesn't feel supported by you, that, you know, he just feels like y'all don't care in, you know, so many ways. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, well, I'm sorry that he kind of put that on you, but I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on that. I'm like, okay, you know, cool. Like that, you know, made me feel good to, you know, get that out and maybe kind of help in that situation. I don't know if the conversation did, but anyway, back to where we were. Fast forward. We're arguing, and he's like, I know something's going on with you guys, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? Like, that don't even make sense. And it threw me for a loop, because it's like, well, in my head, I was like, well, maybe your dad is helping us because he sees that I'm about something. I'm trying to build a life for myself. I was in college at the time. Yeah, I was taking online classes, but basically I was in college at the time. I'm trying to get my bachelor's degree. Like, you're doing whatever you're doing. Like, maybe he sees that you're with someone that's actually about something, that's trying to build a career, a life, and get established. Like, maybe that's why he didn't try to help you back in the day, because he saw the people that you were with and saw that they weren't that motivated. They weren't trying to go anywhere in life. They weren't trying to travel. They weren't trying to create memories. They weren't trying to build a strong foundation like a person and like a grown-up for a family is supposed to do. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, he thought I was smashing his daddy, y'all. Like, I don't understand. And it was just weird, because, like, the relationship that me and his dad had, it was always respectful. I always came at him sorry, there was like a fuzzy. I always came at his dad very respectfully, very, like, you know, you're the dad of the family. Like, I'm going to come at you respectfully. I'm going to say, yes, sir, no, sir, you know, do you need help with anything? You know, whatever. Like, I'm gonna be myself and try to help and be genuine and nice. So it really threw me for a loop, and I called one of my one of my homies at the time that I shouldn't have been talking to, but I was talking to. We weren't like talking inappropriately or anything like that. We were just like friends, you know. And I called him freaking out, crying. I'm like, bro, he thinks I'm fucking his daddy. Like, what the fuck? I don't know what the fuck to do. Da 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 da. I'm out here with him and I don't have anybody. I have no support system. Da 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 da. Like, it was a crazy situation. But yeah, y'all, he accused me of fucking his daddy. That don't even make sense. That I still trying to wrap my head around it to this day. And I'm just like, was this man, was Bar like that insecure, that fucked up in the head, that really weird about that he thought just because his dad was being nice and like turning over a new leaf with him and their relationship, that you thought something was going on? Like, were you that insecure? Were you that like fucked up in the head? Were you that like off? Like, I don't understand. Like, it was so crazy. I still to this day, I'm like, huh? How? Like, what? Like, that don't even make sense. Like, I would understand if there was like suspicious text or questionable conversations or you know, just anything weird, you know what I mean? Just anything out the ordinary. And there never was, which was crazy to me. But yeah, like, he even asked me about the conversation we had at the table, because I think he had came in the house and me and his dad were still at the table talking, and then like we had, you know, parted ways once he came in the house. And he was like, well, what the fuck are you guys talking at the table for? And I was like, first of all, let me just say this, you guys. I was in fight or flight, okay? I was at the point in life where I'm not gonna shut my mouth anymore. I'm gonna say what I need to say. I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm gonna yell. I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna do whatever. All right? So he was like, what the fuck were you guys sitting at the table for? Da 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 da. Like, it was so weird. Why would you guys just get up and leave the table as soon as I enter the house? This and that. I'm like, well, first of all, if you want to fucking know what your bitch ass, I will definitely tell you. He'll be like, what were you talking about? What were you talking about? I was like, we were talking about you bitch ass. We're talking about how your relationship is strained, that he needs to work on it, that you think the family doesn't care about you. And that, you know, I basically just went in and told him everything that we talked about. He was like, really? I'm like, yes. He's like, oh. So you mean to tell me that you basically just reiterated the conversation back to me, what I said? I'm like, yes. I was like, I was sitting there having an adult grown conversation to him about how you feel about the family and how you feel the family treats you. And he was like, oh. So is that why he's been like trying to spend time with me more? Is that why this? Is that why that? Is that why? I'm like, yes. You fucking jackass. Yes. I was like, I can't believe that you would even think that of me or even say that. Like, who the fuck do you think I am? Like, I'm not your ex. I'm not your BM. I'm not none of them. Like, I've done so much to prove my loyalty to that person, but then at the same time, I've done things in that relationship that were not so loyal, that were not that great, that were not the person that I was. You know what I mean? Like, your girl was not in a good headspace in that relationship. I feel like he caught me at a very weak moment in life. He caught me at a very vulnerable moment in my life where I was dealing with a lot outside of what I had going on with him when we met initially. I had a lot going on with other people in my life at the time, and it was a lot. But yeah, y'all, like, he really thought I was fucking his daddy. Like, nigga, make it make sense. Like, that don't even make sense. Like, I still can't believe I haven't told you guys the story time. Like, I really can't. But yeah, I can't believe those words came out of his mouth, number one. I can't believe that even the thought even crossed his mind, number two. Number three, I just can't even wrap my head around it. Like, our dads are the same age. Like, that don't even make sense. I still can't. Like, I'm the wheels are turning and nothing's coming out. Okay, nothing's coming out. I just can't. Like, yeah, it was crazy. That relationship was not that great. It didn't start out as crazy as it ended. The roller coaster was definitely a roller coaster, and I should have got off that bitch a lot sooner than I did. But I'm happy that I did. But yeah, has that ever happened to anybody? Has the person you were dating ever accused you of smashing their family member or sibling or parent or their friend or just in general anyone close to them because they were insecure or they were doing things they shouldn't have been doing? I ended up later finding out that he was cheating on me the entire time we were together, from when we started talking to when I moved with him to just the entire time that he was, I found out the entire time he was cheating. So many things came out after the relationship. People came to me, like, people are still messaging me about this person to this day, and I will never understand why. Like, I've been moved on, I've married, like, I don't understand. Like, if people could put something in the comments to help me wrap my head around it, maybe it will help me wrap my head around it. Like, I don't understand. And it's just crazy because I genuinely came into the relationship not knowing what to think. I was just like, I like this guy, we're vibing, he seems nice. And my judgment was so off, y'all. He put on the biggest mask ever. Okay, like, that's another story for another day. But yeah, he accused me of smashing his dad. And I can't. And it's funny because looking back on it, I'm surprised he didn't accuse me of smashing one of his siblings, because one of his siblings was a 420 not influencer, I'm sorry. He was a 420 friendly as well, okay? And we would 420 hang sometimes, and I'm surprised he didn't think I was messing with that sibling. Like, it just doesn't make sense at all. And I think it doesn't make sense because he was doing things he shouldn't have been doing. You know what I mean? Like, it was just really weird, the whole situation. But yeah, my man at the time thought I was smashing his dad, which, that's fucking disgusting. The thought of that is nasty, okay? Like, really, dude? Really? Come on now. Come the fuck on. As much stuff as anyway, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to elaborate anymore on this story, but yeah, so that was a story time about how my man thought I was smashing his dad. If this has ever happened to you or anything similar, leave it in the comments or leave a like, or just say, yo, this is crazy, or leave a like in the comments, just say something. I have a giveaway coming. I'm actually going to do it next month now because this month is basically over. Like, it's what, the 16th, 17th, 18th, the 16th? I can't believe that. But yeah, giveaways coming next month. I'm so sorry, there's a delay, just a lot going on, trying to keep up with everything in life right now. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, Cali Gang, to the story time. If you want any more story times, about this person or just in general, leave a like, leave a suggestion down below. Let me know what you think of the makeup look. I haven't done my makeup in over a month. Like, it's been that much going on. I haven't done my makeup since my cousin's wedding. And y'all know when that vlog was a month ago. Like, if you guys notice, I've been doing nothing but day in the lives and like regular vlogs. So I'm gonna get back into story times, reactions, and all that stuff in between. So please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notifications, turn notifications when I post, get up to date on content. I love you guys. Bye.